identifying the diaspora as a new source of investment. That's pretty innovative, but some people would say they already are bringing money into the economy. They're the largest source of forex.
Yes, yeah, we have the diaspora, which is the largest, the third largest economic source in Kenya. Not really the top, but the third largest. Last year, it pumped in $800 million US to the economy, and so it is the third largest.
Okay. The fact that members of the diaspora bring money back into the economy through remittances, you're wanting them to do it differently, or to, you know, broaden the avenues through which money comes back into the economy? What's this all about?
Well, what this is all about is that we are not trying to create a different way in which they bring money back to Kenya. We have realized that all this money that comes back to Kenya is not really channeled into investment. And that's why Kenya Overseas Business Alliance has come in to create channels, to create opportunities in which the diaspora can identify high-impact investment opportunities in Kenya, like the green energy infrastructure. We have the real estate. We have like the stadiums in Kenya, which needs to be invested in. So we are creating, we are trying to create an opportunity. So that's why we are getting the private sector from Kenya and the government sector to go into the diaspora, tell them this is where you can invest, because they need to be informed about that.
But members of the diaspora, do they have an investment mentality, or do they have a familial, sentimental mentality? Many people who send money home, it's to help consumption for families that are back home, help to educate relatives, help in buying a house, etc., not necessarily to invest in the real economy.
Yeah, honestly, from the research that was done by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs showed that almost 75% of the remittances that come from the diaspora goes into consumption, and only 25% that goes to investment. And the reason that this happens is that because the diaspora has not really been informed on where they can invest their money in Kenya. And that's why, in collaboration with Kenyan Investment Authority, which is the investment body in Kenya, we are trying to tell the diaspora, look, you don't need to send all the money to your family members to feed and to do shopping. You can invest in real estate. You can buy a house in Kenya. You can invest in other opportunities like green energy. So we are trying to educate these people because they have the money. They want to bring it back to Kenya. But how do they bring it, and when do they bring it? That's what we're doing right now.
Okay, talk to us about the mechanisms or the modalities for investment. I don't know how the remittances come through. Do they come through a wire service? Do they come through banks? But if people are going to invest, I think would be assuming that they're going to put into various funds and schemes large sums of money for investment purposes. You've got to justify it to them, but you've also got to make it easy for them to do so.
The challenges are there, of course. We know we have challenges like the channels in which the money shall be, will be brought back to Kenya, or the way the remittances will come back to Kenya. One of the things we've done, we had a meeting with a Cooperative Bank of Kenya, which is a bank. They have a unit, they have a product that really focuses on creating an opportunity for Kenyans to invest through them. It is called the Diaspora Unit Trust. These are some of the products that are being created by the banks, like the Housing Finance, Equity Bank, so that when they are investing back to Kenya, they can use those products. Because in the past, we had no products like in the banking sector where the diaspora can invest through. And therefore, there were money laundering, which also was a problem. There was also a problem of people sending money to their relatives to put up their houses, and their houses were never put up because there was no right channel. There was no right channel of channeling this money. So some of these things are being put in place.
Right.
Our banks in Kenya are doing quite good, and I'm sure something is working out well.
All right, let me just bring in our guest host, Vikas Murray, into the conversation. The Diaspora are one of the largest source of forex that comes into the economy, as we heard. They bring in about 4 billion shillings per annum. So this is a new and an innovative way of directing remittances. But what about these issues of family links?
I think that what you've got is you've really got two kinds of Kenyans overseas, and if I can use an athletics analogy that Kenyans would understand. You've got the pacemakers and you've got the world champions. The pacemakers take the money they earn for making pace and they send it back to their families so that they can eat. The world champions take their money and invest it in Swiss banks. And what they want to do now is to say, the pacemakers are sending their money, we don't need to encourage them, that's happening. What we need to do is when the guys make real money offshore, that they also invest that back into Kenya. So they're creating channels to do that, and I think that's it's to be commended.
Okay, and we're also being told that they should direct funds into issues of or areas like real estate, green energy projects, etc. Is that enough of an incentive for people to come back into Kenya? We do know, for instance, that the equities market's been very vibrant and the gains have been over 32%. So there's already the avenue of buying stock.
The problem with buying stock is that there are so few things listed in a place like Kenya. So you mainly have the banks and you have a couple of consumer companies. It's not really broad-based like you have in South Africa. You've got plenty of sectors listed. So what happens is that you actually need to create more channels into more different assets. So because the stock exchange is limited in what's listed on the stock exchange.
All right, Geoffrey, just a final question to you. Some of the things that have plagued the reputation of Kenya: graft, political instability after the electoral violence of 2007 and 8, and then also sustained growth. I know that growth is expected to be about 4.5% this year, going upwards into the year ahead, but you've got to incentivize investment into the country and you've got to overcome some of these challenges. How are you arguing that case?
To say it, I think we had a problem after the post-election violence, which came in after 2007 elections. But Kenya was in like kind of a trying time when it brought in the constitution, and when we passed on the constitution peacefully, and now we are in a new dispensation. I am sure the diaspora, the foreign investors are very excited, and now they have confidence in Kenya. And we can see this by the way we have been receiving calls and even information from the diaspora that we want to come and invest back to Kenya. There's confidence, it's building up again. And with the coalition government also, people have seen that Kenya can work together. We have put all that what happened in the past, and we are looking in the forward, and we have confidence in our government. We are sure that they're going to stabilize the political situation of the country.